What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to On the Mark with your boy Marcus Washington, where we talk everything Falcons football. So our season has been over with for about 2 weeks now, and there has been a lot of stuff going on um, in Falcons Nation. A couple of moves at the top. Um, uh, we got some players coming off the books. Hold on for a second. Let me do something real quick. All right. And we got some fresh new money coming into us. Um, Starting off with the Falcons naming a new president on Monday. Well, Monday, a couple of Mondays ago. And Greg Beatles, which I thought was a much needed move. Um, And I like the fact that the Falcons are making these moves early. Like they're not waiting until the end of the season. What's going on, Alex? What's going on, Sean? What's going on, Roger? Um, what's going on, Armani? Uh, so there were a lot of interesting moves. Now, that definitely was one of them. Of course, Dean Pease retires at the end of the season. Actually, the day after our season was over, which I kind of figured that had to happen or he had to get fired. Either way it goes, um, we needed to go in a new direction in search of a new defensive coordinator because our defense under Dean Pease was uh, bottom of the barrel the last 2 years. And it looks like Atlanta has been looking at some pretty interesting uh, candidates for DC. Now I know one of them already got blocked. I think the DC in Denver. Denver told them to. They told the Falcons, "Hey, listen, y'all go somewhere else with that bullshit. Y'all are not getting our DC." Um, but Vic Fangio has been interviewed. Uh, they interviewed quite a couple of people for that position. To me, they have to hit a home run with this. Now they'll have the money to get defensive pieces for this new defensive coordinator. Hold on, let me close this door real quick. Okay, my bad, fam. I was hearing an echo. Um, so this next defensive coordinator, for me, I would like a more aggressive defensive coordinator. Our last couple of defensive coordinators, man, have been hot garbage. Um, with the exception of our interim defensive coordinator, who's actually had this defense playing hard. Um, but that's the least of my worries. I think they'll get a quality DC, and they have the money to spend for a defense. So I think we're straight there. Um, then you add to the fact that we got draft capital, so so we can draft defensive pieces too. Um, Now, as far as salary cap goes, potential cap space is 73.6, somewhere around there. Um, of cap space going into 2023. That's with I think if we cut Marcus Mariota, um, if we cut him and we cut Casey Hayward, that would give us 17 million in potential cap space. So it's no doubt they're cutting Marcus Mariota. Um, Rusty says restructuring Matthews was weird. Only 4 million freed up when we have 60 million available. I think Terry got something up his sleeve. If not Lamar, I want to see Jesse Bates and Deron Payne. Here's what's really, and I'm gonna get to that because people see this money, and there's been this hot topic debate on do you go get Lamar Jackson if Lamar Jackson becomes available? This to me is almost not even worth discussing because Lamar Jackson is not going to become available. Um, the Ravens have an opportunity to franchise tag Lamar Jackson. Matter of fact, they gave another player money so they wouldn't have to franchise him. So they're going to use the franchise tag on Lamar Jackson. Now it's up to Lamar Jackson on whether he decides to play or sit out and play chicken with the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're going to franchise tag him. So there's really no sense to even look in Lamar Jackson's way. Give Ritter another year and let's see what he can do. One, I think is beneficial because he's still on his rookie contract. So if Ritter actually turns out to be a stud, you actually save yourself a lot of money that you might have invested in Lamar Jackson had he become available, where you can spend that on defense. Offensively, I think we're straight. I think we need just another receiver on the other side of Drake London. Our running game, we already got absolutely shored up. Our offensive line, really don't have to worry too much about that. But I think this team is in a good space. It's going to be interesting to see how they use this money. That's what I'm looking at. And then we had $5 million that carries over from this year to next year. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is the first year that Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith actually get to do something of value in the offseason. Now, Scooter says, you think Casey's getting cut? I don't know. But I do know if they cut him, they get $5 million. It's an additional $5 million to the cap. So I don't know if they're going to cut him. But I'm just going based on what I see right now. Mariota's getting cut. They're getting that $12 million in cap savings. So Mariota's gone. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. Hayward, I'm not so sure. But I like the direction that this team is going in. I personally, even if Lamar Jackson were to become available, with the price tag associated with him, couple of things. Let's just say Atlanta. First of all, you're going to have to give him a Deshaun Watson type of deal. That's off top. So if you want to invest $200 million in change in a quarterback, fully guaranteed, go for what you know. But I don't think Atlanta should make that move. And one of the reasons why I kind of know Atlanta isn't going to make that move is because they didn't make it with Deshaun Watson. Y'all remember last offseason, Deshaun Watson was here. Literally in Atlanta when Cleveland stole him. The Saints knew they had lost the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes because they started making moves that morning. So it was almost a for sure thing that Deshaun Watson was going to be in an Atlanta Falcons jersey. So much so, Kyle Pitts prematurely tweeted, "Scary hours." Or things are looking scary, something like that. It was a foregone conclusion. Cleveland in the final hour just threw a number on the wall and attached fully guaranteed to it, and Deshaun Watson went there. Now I'm pretty positive Deshaun Watson's agent, because Deshaun Watson didn't want to go play in Cleveland. Deshaun told them early on, man, y'all out. But I'm pretty sure his agent came back to Terry and said, hey, can you match it? Terry probably looked at Arthur and said, bro, that's too much money, especially for a guy that's probably not going to start for the first 10 games. On top of the draft capital, they would have had to have given up to. So, again, I don't think they would bypass doing that with Deshaun Watson and then do it for Lamar Jackson. Even though you can make the argument that Lamar Jackson is more decorated than Deshaun Watson, because unlike Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson has won an MVP in a playoff game. Deshaun Watson is yet to do both. And what Cleveland did really pissed off all 31 other teams, because they didn't want to set that precedent for quarterbacks. You're giving this guy $200+ million fully guaranteed. That's why they haven't been able to broker a deal with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. And Lamar has a very valid case. Look at what Cleveland gave this guy. I'm carrying your franchise. And we're winning games. Deshaun Watson's last year in Houston, he put up numbers, but they won 4 games. They had the same amount of wins that we did. So I don't think Terry would be willing to make that deal if Lamar Jackson were to become available anyway. But I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to become available, because if I'm Baltimore, I'm franchise tagging you. We about to play chicken. I'm a franchise tag you, and we're going to see if the rubber hits the road. And plus, it's another smart way to be like, to give yourself another year to try to work out a long-term deal. So Lamar, he's not becoming available. That would shock the hell out of me if Lamar was to become available, but I don't think so. So, I mean, there's no reason to even grasp at that straw or that possibility. But now that we'll probably have bare minimum, we got a good amount of money to build a team, $73 million. And that's this year. You can pretty much sign whoever you want to at this point. But they need to get the defense. They need to hit a home run with the DC. I do not want a passive DC. I need a super duper aggressive ass DC. A guy who takes chances with the blitz. I need that. A defense does a lot better when they're allowed to go hunt. When you got them running against their heels, it fails every time. In Atlanta, for whatever reason, man, we get defensive coordinators who are not aggressive. They're not aggressive. They give up chunk plays passing. They give up chunk plays rushing. And we've had this history for a minute, man. This has to stop too. Every time the offense scores, the defense gives the points right back. That has to stop. Right now, we need an opportunistic defense, or opportunistic defense. I just created a word out of my ass, because I think our offense is straight. Our run game is good. We don't need to change nothing there. The pass game, I think, will get a lot better, because you look at Drake London's numbers after your boy Ritter took over at QB. Man, if he would have had Ritter all season, this boy would have been posed to do some great things. Then you add Kyle Pitts into the mix. But to keep defenses honest, you need another quality wide receiver on that other side, to where they can't bracket, they can't double cover. So for me, the key piece on that offense is another wide receiver. Now, do you go pay for that, or do you go get that in the draft? Do you get that with I think Atlanta has what, the 8th pick? Hold on, let me make sure. Did we have did we have the 8th pick last year? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, we got the 8th pick. Do you go wide receiver again? Or do you try to get it later on in the draft? Man, listen, I'm going to be honest. If it were me, I know this might not be a popular opinion, man. I'm going wide receiver. I'm sorry. I'm going wide receiver because I think I can buy my defense. At bare minimum, I can spend the rest. Fam, listen, I can go wide receiver at 8 and spend the rest of my draft picks on defense. So you couple that with the fact that I can pay to get some quality defensive players in here. And again, you're looking at, we already have a great corner in AJ Terrell. Some of these guys started to show up. Some of these guys were spotty. But I have an offensive-minded type of mentality anyway. So I see what Drake can do with this kid Ritter. Kyle Pitts is a beast on his own. That's going to be a literal safety cushion for Ritter when Kyle Pitts comes back. But I got to get another receiver on that other side to make these defenses literally play me honest. And then you add to the fact that they can't even put 8 in the box because your running game is so good. You can line up Cordell Patterson in a wide receiver position, a slot position. Tyler Algier is clearly your number 1 at this point. And then Caleb Huntley, when he gets healthy, Atlanta better be smart enough to sign this boy again. What defense is going to be able to stop that? Now, in a hypothetical, we'll go back to Lamar Jackson. In a hypothetical, let's just say in an alternate universe, Lamar Jackson becomes available and lo and behold, Atlanta is able to get him. I would still tell you, you need another wide receiver on the other side of Drake London. And you still need a defense. The only problem with that, though, is how you structure that contract with Lamar Jackson. Because he's either going to kill you in the beginning of the contract or he's going to kill you towards the end. So if you're trying to make a run next year, if that were to happen, yeah, then maybe I can consider it. But I don't see that happening. So, and I think Desmond Ridder is going to turn out to be a pretty decent quarterback. Rusty says Flores is aggressive. A lot of man blitzes. Vic Fangio runs a defense like Pease, although Fangio is better. I do not want to see another Dean Pease scheme defense ever. We need aggression at this point. We need aggression at this point. We need a defense that is not scared to send the house on first down. Just Gill says, but decent QB wins a chip. In today's era, it doesn't seem like that. In today's era, it seems like you have to have a top flight quarterback. I mean, even if we look at the NFL playoffs right now as they're constructed, there's only one quarterback that's low-key suspect right now, and that's Daniel Jones. But hear me out on this, though. If you have all the other correct pieces, you don't really need an all-world quarterback. Look at the 49ers. Brock Purdy is succeeding because they're so loaded. They have Christian McCaffrey. That's his safety valve. Anytime things get stressed out and he can't find his first or second read, he just dumps it off to Christian McCaffrey. You got Brandon Ayuk. You got Deebo Samuels. You got Kittle. On top of, I think they just got another running back. Plus, I think they have the number 1 defense in the league. Brock Purdy is benefiting from all this. If you put Purdy on the Jets, he's not playing this well. But look at the other teams. The Eagles, Jalen Hurts, before he got hurt, was a potential MVP candidate. The Chiefs, y'all know what time it is. The Steph Curry of football, Patrick Mahomes. You look at the Bills. Josh Allen, another world-class talent. You look at Cincinnati with Joe Burrow. So in this day and age, it seems like you do need a great quarterback. But here's the thing, though. The Chiefs drafted Patrick Mahomes. The Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts. The Bills drafted Josh Allen. The Bengals drafted Joe Burrow. Y'all see where I'm going with this? So again, four games is not a great serving size to see what Desmond Ridder can do, but I'm gonna tell you, in the 4 games that he played, I saw him get better with every game. And he did something Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons have never done, and that's beat Tom Brady. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, man, but Tom Brady only played one and a half quarters, man. He didn't even play a full half. He suited up. He stepped his ass out on that field. Whether he left on his own or whether he got injured, the minute he suited up and took a snap, he played that game, and they lost. Didn't throw a pick in any of these games. And he's a rookie. People would not give Desmond Ridder the benefit of the doubt, but they were fighting hard for Mariota. Now, I'm going to give the rookie the benefit of the doubt over an 8-year QB that tapped out on the team. And when I look at the fact that we do have weapons on offense and we really don't need anybody but another wide receiver, I like the offensive line play this year. But that defense, bro, that defense has to be middle of the road. I would prefer top 10. This year, I would prefer top 10. But if you can get right there around 12, maybe 13, this team is winning 11 games. Minimum. They're winning 11 games. If you can get this defense to rank 12 overall, they're winning 10 plus. And I base that off the fact that this team should have won 10 games this year. And the defense was damn near at the bottom. So there's a lot of things to be optimistic about going into this season. To me, this team is going to win 10 games next year. I said at the beginning of this season, if this team won 7 games, they would overachieve. They would be overachieving. I said this before the first game happened. After the first game, I'm like, this is a 7. If they win 7 games, bro, they overachieved. Because on paper, they're not supposed to win 7 games. And when you add to the fact that Atlanta lost at least 3 games they should have won. One of the games they got hosed by roughing the passer call that shouldn't have got called. So I think Atlanta is on the precipice of finally breaking this glass ceiling back into the playoffs. And this is the only team that needs to break a curse, man. You saw Georgia all those years under Mark Richt. Great team. Had, top flight talent every one of those years. Top flight talent. They'd end up losing to a team they had no business losing to in the regular season. Just couldn't get over the hump. Then they get Kirby Smart in there. Now they bike-to-bike national championship winners. Went undefeated this year. And just absolutely just tore down TCU. That game was such an embarrassment. But you know what that reminds me of? The Falcons in 2016 before the Super Bowl. Now, I wish I had screenshots of some of the stuff I said in this group once upon a time ago, back in 2016. After I said Atlanta would run the table after losing to Kansas City, people thought I was crazy. I said, this team about to run the table, dog. Man, you crazy, man. I don't know about that, dog. I don't know about that. And the reason why I said that was because at that time, I can see this offense would not be stopped. We lost that year. Before we went on the bye, we lost that year to Kansas City by a point. That's all I need to see. I'm like, we come off this bye, we about to destroy everybody. The Rams can actually thank us for their Super Bowl. Because when we came out of that bye, I believe the first game we played, it was either the first or the second game we played, it was against the Rams. Jeff Fisher had just signed a contract extension. We beat the Rams so bad on Sunday, they fired Jeff Fisher on Monday and started a rebuild. Got Sean McVay, the rest is history. We destroyed every team all the way up into the Super Bowl. These games weren't close, bro. We played Green Bay in the title game. Green Bay was coming off a hot streak. I think they had won like 7 games straight or something like that. I knew we were going to destroy Green Bay. Before the half was over, we was like, oh, this game over with. Now we can discuss the Super Bowl and some play calling and some whatever. It's traumatizing to Falcons fans. I get it. But that's what Georgia reminded me of. That 2016 run that Atlanta had. And if Atlanta would have won that Super Bowl, curse is lifted. But right now we're seeing every team look good except for Atlanta. We're seeing a resurgence with the Hawks. There hasn't been this much excitement for the Hawks since Mookie Blaylock and Steve Smith. Now we got a star in Trae Young. We got DeJounte Murray. They might be a couple of years off, but they're exciting. The Braves just won the World Series. Bro, it's time for the Falcons to do something. This is the team everybody wants to see win anyway. Let's just be real. Let's cut the bullshit here. The Dogs winning means a lot. But ain't no parade gonna be a parade until the Falcons win. And the reason why I say this is most Falcons fans have been married to this team for decades, through thick and thin. And listen, I'm not stingy. All I want is, hey, if we get one, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. But I got a feeling we on the cusp. It's just something strange is telling me. Atlanta's on the cusp. We've built teams up. Look at the 49ers. Look, the last game the 49ers lost was against us. We forced them to make a trade. They got Christian McCaffrey. The rest is history. So this team is capable of doing this. Team is not awful. The record the last couple of years might indicate that they're awful, but if you look at last year and the fact that we were 0-8 in game winning drives, 0-8. No Calvin Ridley, no Julio Jones, no real number one receiver. We weren't getting blown out last year. You look at this year, all these games for the most part were close. A bad team is a team just getting knocked off. You walk in there, you know you got a dub. Houston, but even the Texans were playing teams hard this year. But I think with the right offseason, this team is right back in the playoffs next year. right back in the playoffs. Get you another receiver. If I'm the GM, fam, y'all might hate my guts, but if there's a good, quality, solid receiver at 8, I'm getting him. Y'all might hate my methods, but the way I'm thinking, all my other energy is going to be spent on the defense, including that draft. Okay, we got our receiver. Okay, we got Drake, we got Kyle, we got this other guy. Okay, defenses have to play us honest. Can't stack 8 in the box, can't double team. Now it's on Ritter. Is Ritter the goods or isn't he? This would actually make it easier on Ritter. Everything else I'm spending on defense. So I got my offense straight, and my defense should be solid. But again, got to get the right DC. Got to get the right one. And honestly, I don't care what DC I'm getting. The game plan is aggressive. While I'm interviewing, all I want to know is how aggressive your defense is. What's the plan? How many times we blitzing? What coverage we going to play in this position? Let me drop a play for you. How the defense going to look? And to me, to be honest, I don't care how many years you are as a defensive coordinator. Dean Pease had over 50 years of coaching experience. Damn near dead last on defense. Atlanta needs an aggressive defense. They need to get some go get 'em boys. And I believe that's what's going to happen. We're only a few pieces away, dog. We're only a few pieces away. And it just kind of amazes me when the season's over and you kind of take a step back and you're like, dog, we should have been in the playoffs. You sitting there watching Tampa just absolutely get their draws taken off at home. And you're like, we could have scored that. And think about it. They got the greatest quarterback ever known to man in Tom Brady. They got Mike Evans. They got Godwin. They got Julio Jones. That's all y'all put up, bro? That's all y'all put up. Quarterback threw the ball damn near 70 times, bro. Really? We don't have... Think about the talent that we have. It's young. Kyle Pitts was in his second year. Drake London was in his first year. We had a rookie quarterback. We had a rookie running back. Defense really wasn't no different. We should have been the ones playing the Cowboys. I guarantee you we probably would have put up a better fight than they did. But that's neither here nor there. You got to earn your spot. We didn't earn our spot. So next year, we will earn our spot. I called it in my last video, 10 wins. 10 wins next year. I don't give a damn what we do in the offseason right now. Right now, as it stands, I'm calling 10. But they definitely have to pick up a wide receiver on that other end, a top quality. I don't want, one of these guys that's literally on his way to the house in retirement. And y'all just picked him up because he was, a low bargain buy. No. I'd just rather y'all go in the draft and get it. We don't need a Randall Cobb. Nope. Don't want those kind of wide receivers. I want a young, baby powder, fresh smelling ass wide receiver. A new car smelling ass wide receiver. With minimum miles on it. We don't need none of these wide receivers, man. Head gasket done blown. Had to repair the engine. Check engine light come on every now and then. Julio Jones. Nope. Fresh out the package wide receiver. If you're trying to build something, do it that way. You got these guys on rookie contracts. Man, damn it, I didn't talk myself into an 8th pick wide receiver. I didn't talk myself into it. Scooter says we can actually give Ritter another year, and if we're trash, we can get Caleb Williams 2024. Again, Atlanta has a lot of options. We have a lot of options right now. We don't have anybody on our team where we have to grossly spend for him right now. And when you add to the fact that our best 2 players the last decade or so are pretty much on their way out the league, a year or 2 removed from us, that tells you something. That tells you we hold on to guys a lot longer than we should. And hopefully this new regime does not practice the same things as the old regimes. We should have got off of Matt Ryan a whole 2 years before we did. Julio, kind of different because when he was in a Falcons jersey, he was still putting up monster numbers. But what that didn't got him now? Julio's probably a year away from doing analyst work on Good Morning Football or some shit. He'll be sitting there right next to Ryan Clark in 2 years on ESPN. All because he got greedy. All because he felt a certain way because of the contract negotiations, and that rubbed off on Calvin Ridley. But we free of their contracts now. They off the books. So it seems like the team is going in the right direction, man. We don't have any divas on this team as of now. Drake London, I think Drake London is going to have a breakout year next year. Drake London is going to have, man, listen. From what I've seen in the 4 games that he's played with Ritter, you get you another receiver on the other side and have Kyle Pitts in the middle. You can run. Oh, Jesus, man. I need to be a damn offensive coordinator. I'd have this goddamn team humming. But I believe Drake London is in for a monster season next year. And Algier in the offseason, bro, get your catching skills on. We need you to be a Milky Way McCaffrey. A chocolate bar McCaffrey. Get your hands right, bro. Because it's clear that your yak is incredible. Guys are hitting this dude and bouncing right off of him. And the crazy thing about this is in the middle of the season, I thought Huntley was the better back. I do think Huntley's vision is just amazing, though, as a running back. We have to bring Huntley back. And think, if Damian Williams never got hurt, we probably wouldn't know what these guys were capable of. Huntley's not getting called off the practice squad. Algier's numbers are probably cut. And these running backs are better than Williams. But I would have Cordell Patterson in a hybrid situation. You run the ball every now and then, but bro, I'm lining you up because I know what you're capable of doing in the pass game. That's what I would be doing. I think our offense is straight, but defensively we gotta take care of that. We definitely got to take care of that. But anyway, man, that is the video for today. As y'all can tell, I'm very optimistic about this team going into 2023. It's gonna be some interesting moves, man. I cannot wait until the end of the actual end of the season to see, what happens, what players become available in free agency. Uh and then when free agency opens back up, what kind of splashes that Atlanta makes. Um and then you look at the draft. What are they gonna do? We have quite a few draft picks this year. Well, this year and next year, hell. Would you take Brandon Cooks from the Texans? Uh, Man, honestly, no. And Brandon Cooks is a talented. He's a talented guy, but he's been moved around, man. Again, I would just rather get. I'd rather get a guy out the draft. Because, see, I'm looking long term here. Brandon Cooks, you're going to have to pay. Right? You're going to have to pay Brandon Cooks. You get a rookie, and you get him on that rookie deal. I think it's, pardon me if I'm wrong, but I think if the first round, I think it's like the top 10 picks, you get that fifth-year option. I think it's just all together. First rounders, you get that fifth-year option. I'm looking long term. Brandon Cooks is, to my knowledge, he's already been on like 3 or 4 teams. So I'd rather go with a new car. Guy coming out of college, young, hungry. I'd just rather go that route. And then they're more easy to conform to the team. So that's another thing too, man. I like Brandon Cooks, but right now, I'd just rather get him out the draft. Now, if a monster wide receiver becomes available and you just can't pass it, but I don't think that's happening. Matter of fact, let me check. Let me check wide receiver free agency. Let's see. Receivers, agents. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, we got a couple set to be. Hold on, let me see when. Never mind. That's last year. All right, so let's look at free agency for top wide receivers. We got Jacoby Myers. That's a no. Juju Smith-Schuster. That's a no. DJ Clark. They got DJ Clark and they got Darius Slayton. I'm no to both. Alan Lazard is. Oh yeah, Alan Lazard is scheduled to be a free agent because Aaron Rodgers was talking about them bringing him back. That's a no for me too, man. Marvin Jones from the Jaguars. He's 33. That's a no too. Well, he's gone over 750 yards in 6 out of the last 7 seasons. I'm not okay with that one either. McCole Hardman, that's a hard no. Jarvis Landry of the Saints. Oh man, sheesh. That's a tough one right there. He's 30. Man, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Out of this list so far, Jarvis Landry is the only one that kind of pops to me. And that seems to be it. Ray says rumors have it that the Cardinals are trying to trade D-Hop. but I'm not sure if that's a trade the Falcons would be willing to pull. It depends, man. It depends. We're talking draft, and I think he's got 2 years left on his deal. It's 2 years, 30 million, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look at DeAndre Hopkins. Let's look at him real quick. Now, I'll say this: if the deal adds up, I take it. Because Hop's he's still a beast. He's still a beast. So if the deal makes sense, yeah. But I know he's let me take a look here. But there's some other teams that are interested. I know the Patriots would be the first ones to jump on DeAndre Hopkins if that were an option. But okay, so let's see. The Cardinals have to eat dead money if they did it. 19.5 in 2023 and 14.9 in 2024. The deal would have to be right, fam. Yeah, got to pay Landry though. Yeah, the deal would have to be right. If I had to choose between Landry and Hopkins on a deal, Hopkins is easily the guy that I'm going with. You pair him with a Drake London and a Kyle Pitts, yeah, good night. Good night. But again, you're gonna give up a couple of picks to get D-Hop, plus you're gonna have to pay him. So it's all about what kind of picks. Now I'm not giving up two. That's not gonna happen. For D-Hop, I'm gonna give up a pick and I'm gonna take on his salary. That's it. You're not getting two. Maybe a third rounder. Maybe. Because it's clear that Arizona and him, they're not seeing eye to eye right now. That's clear. So that's all I got for you, Arizona. I got a third rounder for you. That's it. Third round. Whatever whatever the Jags gave us for Calvin Ridley, I'm giving you one of those picks. Because I know y'all want to get off of him real bad. So y'all can either take. Now, I'm pretty sure New England is going to offer. They're going to offer the asking price. But for Atlanta, one pick, and I'm picking up his salary. If y'all don't want to, ride with that, then fine, man. But again, we have a lot of options this year. The previous couple of years, we haven't had options, man. Our three best players came from the draft. Algier, draft. London, draft. Pitts, draft. But on the defense, they gotta get some heavy hitters to help Grady. The secondary, I'm not too concerned about. Because I honestly believe, man, Dean Pease' scheme was trash. I just believe it was garbage. And they did get better in the back end of the season. But again, man, we win in 10. We win in 10. And depending on what happens with Tampa Bay won this year practically by default, fam. We couldn't close out games. Carolina was awful, and then they got their run game on track. New Orleans was New Orleans. So Tampa won this one almost by default. The whole damn division was bad. But depending on what happens with Tampa, because I know for damn sure Tom Brady ain't coming back. Tampa's probably going to go through a soft rebuild of its own. So we'll see what happens with that. But Atlanta should be at the top of the division next year, man. But they have to make some good moves. I firmly believe in Terry Fontenot. Firmly believe in him. But we gonna see. We gonna see in the offseason if Terry was that guy. I believe he is. I believe some of these moves that he's going to make are going to be great moves. Terry Fontenot's greatest move is the move that he didn't make so far. And that was caving in and trying to find money to pay Deshaun Watson. That's been his best move thus far. Ray said, I think Devontae Adams is who I meant. But regardless, I'd take both at the right price. Devontae ain't leaving Oakland no time soon. Scooter says that secondary's butt cheeks, especially the safeties. I'll agree with this. I'll agree with the safety work. The corners, AJ had some good plays. Oliver actually had some good plays. I saw Richie Grant, but some guys like Hall that were just, man, Hall, every time I saw a big play, Hall was getting smoked. Every big play, I'm like, I'm going to see the back of Hall's jersey, bro. Hall was getting cooked on a lot of these plays, man. AJ get cooked every now and then. But AJ made some great plays this year. Hall, man, listen, matter of fact, just to appease my curiosity, I need to see how many years Hall's got left. Absolute butt cheeks from him all year. All year. Let me look this up. All right, so Darren Hall, so far he's so far I think he's 3 seasons in. I mean, just garbage, bro. Yeah, I listen. I'd be lying to y'all if I said I like Darren Hall. If y'all didn't get that already. I mean, there was a play where he got smoked. It should have went for a touchdown, but the ball was overthrown. I'm like, bro, how you give that up, man? So yeah, there's some guys on defense. I really don't want to see next year. I really don't. I really don't. But I think we'll get right, man. Anyway, this has been this week's episode of On the Mark with your boy Marcus Washington, man. I am clocking out. I'll see y'all probably next week because I think Atlanta is close to deciding what DC they're gonna go with. They interviewed everybody and they mama the last week and a half, bro. They interviewed everybody. I think they I think somewhere I heard, man, Tony the Tiger was flying in from Nebraska for an interview, bro. Like, I'm like, damn, y'all trying to interview everybody. SpongeBob said he had an idea for an identity of this defense. Scrooge McDuck said, man, listen, I'm retiring from the financial sector, man. What's up? Holla at me. I know how to put a plan together, man. Y'all see how much gold I got? Atlanta's been interviewing everybody. They were interviewing so many people. Some of these teams like, man, get the fuck away from our DC, man. We straight. Which, in all honesty, if I'm being real, I wish they would have did this Arthur Smith's first year instead of getting this guy off the couch. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, man, I'm out. Y'all have yourselves a great rest of the week, family. Peace.